Yo, what's up? My name is Rich. Welcome back to another video. In this video right here, we're gonna go ahead and do a quick review of this Stahls Hotronix Dual Air Fusion IQ. All right, so this right here is a heavy duty heat press. We've done a whole lot of heat press reviews on the channel, from the cheaper ones to the medium priced ones. Medium, I don't know, is that what you want to call it? Medium priced? But this one's a little more expensive. I think it's ranging right now between $7,500 to 7,800 new. So I bought this used from a good friend of mine, and we used it for a solid quarter last year, fourth quarter of 2021. So you know, we've been putting this thing to work. And this right here, if you have a high volume heat press shop, then this heat press is exactly what you're looking for. All right, I know 7,500, 7,800 bucks might sound quite expensive to a lot of you all, but if you're already doing this high volume, then you would know this is quite a reasonable price to jump into. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. You do need a compressor for this, so we're gonna go ahead and cut the compressor on and the heat press itself. This heat press warms up quite quickly too, and it also gives you a time on here. I'm gonna give you a look at this screen a little bit later on. It gives you a look at the time on here. It says 9 minutes until 330 degrees. I don't know if that's exact time that it takes, but it'll give you that type of measurement, which is pretty neat. While this is warming up, I want to let you know about the Made to Hustle conference in Fort Worth, Texas. This is going on April 8th and April 9th. This is with Stan Bakes and T-Shirt Side Hustle, Alan Wade of AW Productions, and myself. So we will all be there. There will be hands-on training. We're gonna go over the ins and outs of the t-shirt business, talk about marketing, talk about sales. There's some hands-on training. It's a 2-day event, so make sure you go ahead and check it out. Link down below. Made to Hustle conference, April 8th, April 9th in Fort Worth, Texas. Anyways, heat press is already at 100 degrees. Let's go ahead and check out some of the screen. As you can see, it says heating to 350 degrees. It takes 9 minutes, but I honestly believe it's a little quicker than 9 minutes. As you can see, it's jumping up 1 degree per 2-3 seconds. So I'm not good at math, but I just feel like that's faster than 9 minutes. So while it's still warming up, there's a few things we can look over. It has lasers. So it has a guide for you if you're threading t-shirts on and you want to get the exact same placement every single time. You can turn on the lasers. We're going to take our stylus right here. I honestly don't really use the lasers, but there's a whole lot of settings in here, and I don't even know all of it, but I'm going to go over the ones that I do use often. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the laser. So as you can see, I turned it on. The top one's not exactly aligned. However, we can head on over here and we can just actually move it around. As you can see, it's moving, but I really don't use it too much. So let's say I threaded the t-shirt on. Of course, the Platen is threadable. Put it on, and I make the t-shirt at the exact point every single time. I got the neckline right here. The shoulders look the same every single time. The same amount of sleeve is hanging off on each side. So I know this little square laser right here, if I just go by that same laser placement, every single time right here, if I want it at left chest or so, it will be the exact same place across multiple t-shirts. All right, so let's go ahead and jump straight into the cool parts of this actual machine. There's a foot pedal right here, and with this foot pedal, that's what's going to cause this heat press to go to left and right. As you can see, headed to the right. Now we can load our t-shirt right here, push it on back, load our t-shirt here, and whenever the t-shirt is actually loaded, we can press these 2 buttons. Of course, you can use 2 hands, so just in case, you know, you press one for some odd reason, your hand's there, you know, safety measures. Press both and check it out. And it's quite pressure accurate. You can control the pressure on here. It's at 55 psi. Heat press itself is still warming up, but it's awesome. Now once it goes up, it can automatically come over here, and you can go ahead and take this shirt off, or you can go ahead and heat press the next shirt, then go ahead and handle the shirt that's on here, take it off, put another one on, get it ready for the next one. I'll set up an example at the end of this video, but yeah, it's pretty neat. And you can also control it so that it actually doesn't even swing over whenever it's done. So as you can hear, the compressor interrupted me. It comes on about every 30 minutes or so. I guess it depends on the size compressor you have. This one is a California Air Tools compressor. This one, I believe, is around 500 bucks for that compressor. So you do have to buy a compressor that is separate to the actual heat press cost. Obviously, this is not an ideal heat press if, you know, you're still working from home. But it's still pretty dope to check it out, and, you know, might be something you're gonna get in the future. All right, so gonna move this back, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give you guys an example of like how quick we can go with this heat press. All right, so it's been a few months since I've actually heat pressed some shirts. It's been about 2 months now, so I am a little rusty, but we're gonna go ahead and try it out. Well, it's still warming up. Can't try it out yet. But before we try it out, one question you may ask, Rich, with $7,500, do you really think it's worth it buying a single heat platen unit that actually just have 2 platens? You know, that's a solid question. And there was at one point where my cousin was heat pressing t-shirts over here, and I would heat press shirts over here. And of course we have a lot more than just the single one. I would put 2 of them right next to each other, and then we actually have 2 heating platens, right? This right here is way faster. Doing 2 of them, it is manual, it does auto pop up, yes, that is true, but doing this hundreds of times a day can get exhausting. And although I was pushing out more t-shirts right here, my cousin was not breaking a sweat. Meanwhile, I'm over here tired, jumping around, jumping around, jumping around. However, it is faster and it is cheaper. But, you know, if you have employees or you have somebody working for you, you know, it is manual labor. You're gonna wanna make it as easy on them as possible. So, you know, they can go a lot longer doing this compared to doing this, although this is quicker. All right, I think we should be good to go. Like I said, I might be a little rusty. Depending on the shirt and what it is and where we're heat pressing it, I may lay it a little bit different every time. Like before, for an example, I was showing you threading it on and whatnot. However, there's just like a single t-shirt design, and it's just a one large front print. So all I do is just go ahead and load this one up. Go ahead and do this one as well. Or you know what, I could have went ahead and heat press it. However, I have not put the transfer on here yet. Just gonna go ahead and put the transfer, press this one down, then put the transfer over here. I do need my trash can handy. Now that one's going over there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, press this down, and I can even go ahead and fold this if I wanted to. Or actually, like I said, I'm a little rusty. I should have did this. So I'm using the foot pedal to cancel the heat press swinging over. Now I'm gonna lay that down. Take this one off. Put that down. Go ahead and take this one. Fold this one. I probably would have got my rhythm right after the 4th t-shirt or so. But that's just an example of myself just actually working through an order, or how many orders we ever want to do. I don't know what I'm talking about, but here we have it. We have 3 single t-shirts pressed. As you can see how I was operating the actual heat press itself. I was starting to get in the groove. Probably after the 3rd shirt, then I'll just be flowing. So, pretty neat, right? Do you really think it's worth $7,500? I think it's fairly priced. It's a solid piece of equipment. It's really heavy. You know, like I said, you can get 2 different heat presses, but it's just a lot easier to push some buttons, and it's a little less exhausting on you. This heat press is really heavy duty. It's 260 pounds, I believe. Has some wheels on the back, so whenever you put it on the ground, you gotta lay it on the floor on the wheels if you want to move it around. This is definitely a 2-person job, and this table is super heavy duty. So you're looking at 7,500. When I looked last night, I remember seeing it at 7,800 retail. Compressor gonna be about 500 bucks, and you're definitely gonna have to spend another 500 bucks on a heavy duty table. And you know what? The actual plug itself, I had to, if you're not handy, you're not an electrician, I think this is a 220 plug, 240. I had to pay somebody to install the outlet, so that costed me, I think it was like another 400 bucks or so. Let's go ahead and take another quick look at the screen itself, so I can give you an idea of the actual features that I do use on here. This isn't some kind of in-depth look into the actual heat press itself. because I don't use every single feature. So let's take a quick look at the screen. Before we look at the screen, one other thing I want to mention is that this should be shorter. You might want to get a table that supports this on its own, because this right here is about typical height for if you want to deal with actual, like, you know, folding or polybagging. However, this needs to be even lower. So, you know, once we got this up here, we're like, forget it, we're not going to use it that long anyways. We're just going to run through as much as we can. We didn't want to go through the hassle of taking this heavy thing back off and then unscrewing all the bolts in here and lowering it. But then that will also lower the portion where we're over here bending our backs, folding and doing the shirts and whatnot. So I would highly recommend getting a table that just fits the heat press itself. All right, so this is the best I could get the camera so that you guys can see a look at this. So right here, we can change the temp right here. We just click on it, move it up or down. Or there's this top part right here that gauges, it goes all the way up to 430 or as low as 200. We could just move it around like that. We can touch right there, it's about 260. Touch right here, it's about 385, right? All you have to do is hit check. As you can see, it says heating to 385 degrees, 1 minute until it heats up to that time. Next we have the pressure. If I click on the pressure, you can see I can set it all the way up here, 96 psi. You can move it down, 56 psi, whatever you want to set it at, and then you just hit check mark. And then from there you have the time. You put it at 10 seconds, whatever it may be, right? And you can do the same thing up here. If you can see where there's like a little bar, it's just easier to tap. Hit the check mark. Oops, I guess it automatically did it. Alright, so this right here, I know it's a little pin. I don't know what it's actually called, but I know when it is set, pretty much you have to hold it for the actual heat platen to stay down. I guess you can use it for something like a pre-press, if you wanted to pre-press the garment. If you uncheck it, all you gotta do is hit it once, and then it goes down and it stays down, and then you can cancel it like that. Alright, so a few other things, like this one right here, this stops it from going back and forth. So it's like set to foot pedal only, or it does not go back and forth, or you can make it automatically go back and forth whenever you're done heat pressing. And then if you click on over here, this is probably my favorite part, this little menu section. So it has all these little different settings, right? So I have a white toner printer, and with the white toner printer I have this setting set. So, you know, for the A to B process, or the 30-second press process, the 20-second post process, so stuff like that. Then I have a one-step transfer. This is for dye sublimation, and you can even set it so that this left side is only pressing a transfer, and then whenever we move on to the right side, it's pressing a dye sublimation transfer. So you can do two different settings, right? And that's pretty much it for the most part. That's pretty much what I use the heat press for. There are a whole lot of other buttons that you can click on to change more features, but I don't use all the other stuff, man. All I really use it for is just to make my back a lot easier instead of doing this, and just being able to swing left and right. It just makes the process a whole lot easier. So if you're a heavy duty, heavy volume heat pressing transfer shop, this heat press is probably most definitely for you. Alright, I appreciate y'all watching this not in-depth heat press dual air fusion review. Peace.